Hi everyone. So today we have Deepak Kumar, a scientist from NGRI, who is joining us to talk about his research, his journey through machine learning and AI, and lot more. We'll talk with him. And welcome to our ninth podcast over here. Uh, so without further ado, Deepak, do you want to introduce yourself? Talk a little bit about your PhD topic. The I know it's very complicated, deep crustal, but let's try to understand what is deep crustal actually.
Thanks, Tanisha and Vishal, for inviting me for this podcast. And actually, I'm a bit nervous because this is my first podcast, and I kind of bit. I'm falling short of words how to move ahead and everything. But let me start by introducing myself. So I am Deepak Kumar. I did my schooling from Bokaro St. Xavier's, and then after that, I did my graduation in physics. And after that, I did my master's in marine geophysics from Andhra University, and then I topped my university, and I got a gold medal. And along with that, I got inspired fellowship from Indian
Mm,
government to pursue PhD. And then I joined NGRI under Dr. Lakshmidhar Behra. And
mm,
my topic of my PhD was uh, topic of my PhD was imaging of the crust using three-component seismic data, wide-angle seismic data in the Dharwar Craton. And the main
mm,
objective or the main problem of my thesis was to talk about the evolution of Dharwar Craton.
mm,
Okay, so keeping that in mind, I had to do seismic data analysis and inversion. Along with that, I did gravity inversion and heat flow modeling. And also
uh,
I did the geochemistry and geochemical literature survey. And based on combining all these
mm,
outputs of all these methods, I came up with a hypothesis which was
mm,
kind of uh, answering all the previous contradictions which was related to evolution of Dharwar Craton. And I submitted my thesis in Osmania University, and I did my PhD
mm.
work in NGRI, and that's it. So if you have any
Cool.
question on this, so
Yeah,
I
so
can
yeah,
respond.
definitely there's a lot of questions. So can you tell our audience like what's the specialty or why do you study so much of Dharwar Craton? I mean, I've seen many papers published on that. Why is it
Yeah,
so?
yeah. So the thing is, Dharwar Craton has been studied very extensively by
Mm,
geologists and geophysicists. Means they have done all kinds of surveys like 2D conventional 2D seismic survey along the profile Peru to Chikmagalur, and then they have done heat flow surveys and gravity surveys and everything. But what happens is like there are two kind of school of thoughts. Like one few geophysicists or few scientists talk about that Dharwar Craton is divided into two parts, WDC
mm,
and EDC. And one of the geologist, M. Jananda, he says that Dharwar Craton
mm-hmm.
is actually divided into three parts. Western Dharwar Craton, Central Dharwar Craton, and Eastern Dharwar Craton. So there is lots of contradiction about,
Okay.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
about
So
Dharwar Craton.
structure.
And one more thing was like few scientists said that Dharwar WDC is sinking towards EDC, and few said EDC is sinking towards WDC.
What is
So
EDC and what is
EDC is
those?
eastern part of the Dharwar Craton, and WDC
Okay.
is western part of the Dharwar Craton. And these
Mm-hmm.
two parts are divided by Chitradurga shear zone, which is the major shear zone in that Dharwar Craton area.
Mm-hmm.
So I did literature survey, and I came up with a problem that sir, we can talk about the evolution of the Dharwar Craton because there are many contradictions in the previous studies. So my guide said based on this seismic study only we cannot talk about evolution. Then I said, then sir, we'll do all the studies which is required for this, and then we'll come up with a theory or hypothesis. Then my supervisor was impressed, and he said that okay, we can do. Then and he had means along the same profile, two sets of the data were acquired along Peru
Mm-hmm.
to Chikmagalur profile,
Mm-hmm.
which passes from WDC part of the Dharwar Craton to eastern part of the Dharwar Craton. Okay,
Okay.
and along the means it also crosses the Chitradurga shear zone. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens is like no, the first data was already worked upon by Vijay Rao or Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Vijay Rao. who is from the same department, and they used single component or conventional wide angle seismic data, and they came up with a model which was very homogeneous in nature, and there were flat horizontal layers. I'm not
Okay.
contradicting their study, but I took that study as a stepping stone, and I used three component seismic data. And because see, every Archean craton has a past that it has experienced heavy shearing and orogenic movements. So flat layers in Dharwar Craton can never be a means like it. There is no possibility of finding straight subsurface layers, means horizontal subsurface layers. There will be
Okay.
undulations and everything, because one of the major shear zone is present in Dharwar Craton, and there also they could not find any kind of undulations. So I took that study as a stepping stone, and I built on that on that research.
Yeah.
And so I used three component seismic data because it has three component of P and S wave. Okay.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
total 7 points. So I have a huge amount of data. So what I can do is, like, if I have huge amount of data, my data analysis will be very good. Okay, and I can find the structures or the informations which the 2D seismic conventional seismic data could not have acquired or got. So in my study, using three component seismic data, I did data analysis for all the components for P and S wave separately. Okay. And based on that, I found that means I was able to delineate shear Chitradurga shear zone, especially laterally and vertically both. And then I also was able to find a low velocity layer in the upper crust, okay, which the previous studies have missed. Okay.
Okay.
And also I was able to find that the layers are very undulated. Okay, because it's a Archean craton, and it has experienced many diaprism and many orogenic movements in the past. And then to corroborate my or constrain my output from the seismic data modeling or inversion, I did gravity inversion to see which side is sinking under which, like whether EDC is sinking
Okay.
under WDC or WDC is sinking under EDC. So here, from seismic data analysis and modeling, I was able to get P wave velocity model, S wave velocity model, VP by VS model, Poisson ratios model. Okay, so VP by VS and Poisson ratio gave me the lithology of that area. Okay, and based on the lithology, I found that WDC was more of like mafic in nature, whereas EDC was felsic in nature. So that means EDC, if felsic in nature means like the quantity or the percentage of quartzite will be higher in felsic rocks. Okay,
Okay.
so that means it lowers the what you call the density of that particular crust. Quartzites lower the density. Okay, so that means my WDC part is denser in nature than EDC. Okay, but how do I means how could I be sure whether means the result or the output which I have got is okay or not? So for that, I did heat flow modeling and gravity survey also, gravity modeling also. From gravity modeling, I used a Nafa-Dirac curve to compute density from P wave velocity model, P wave velocities. Okay, and based on that, we also had Bogar gravity anomaly map or data of that particular area. Okay, and then the model which I got from P and SY velocity model, I kept that model same, and then I just iterated the density values to get what you call a gravity model, Bogar gravity anomaly model, and I checked the fit, whether the computed and the observed fits are matching or not. Then I found that to my surprise, I found that EDC is showing higher gravity anomaly than WDC,
Okay.
which means that EDC could be denser in nature and WDC could be rarer in nature, means less denser than EDC. But then again, from my P and SY velocity model, we were able to image that the EDC portion of the Dharwar Craton is what do you call is shallower, means not shallower, is the thickness is less than when compared to the WDC part.
Hmm.
This was one of the reason that whenever the crust has higher thickness, the Bouguereau anomaly sinks, means it gets decreased.
Hmm.
Okay. And if the moho or the crustal thickness is less, then it will increase. So we
Okay.
need to say that
So what was your final analysis? Like how would
the
this shape
analysis
looking?
was the
Yeah.
density was less in EDC, but the higher
Okay.
anomaly which we got is because of the submoho materials like upper mantle
Okay.
materials. Okay.
Hmm.
The same was for WDC part. So what happens? What we got was that WDC part was actually denser, but
Hmm.
The low Bouguer gravity anomaly over WDC is because of the what you call thickness of the crust in WDC part, and the quantity of asthenosphere is less when compared to WDC EDC. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
okay. And then again, I did heat flow survey, means heat flow modeling, and from heat flow modeling, I found that EDC is like the heat flow pattern in EDC is higher than
Hmm.
WDC, which means
Hmm.
that WDC is older than EDC.
Hmm.
Okay, means EDC is hotter than WDC, right? So means if something is hot, that means it's new in nature. Like
Hmm.
when we talk about the ridge means when two plates move away from each other, they are hot because
Hmm.
the lava is coming up and it's forming newly. Okay, so maximum
Hmm.
heat flow is there. So that means the EDC is newer means what do you call it's not that old when compared to WDC. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the inference about the evolution of Dharwar Craton that WDC was forming and then EDC formed. Okay,
Okay.
okay, and that is because of the vertical and horizontal accretion. So from these three outputs, and then I did geochemistry bits later. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and these all the studies geochemistry, every geophysical study found the formation of Dharwar Craton or evolution of Dharwar Craton and the juxtaposition of it happened over a period of time by vertical and horizontal accretion
Hmm.
and orogenic movement.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. That's
So this is
it's nice. Which is you maybe we can post it when we yeah
yeah I
yeah please
one
share the
paper just
publication. Yeah, this is very interesting. Yeah. So I know Deepak,
so
you did a master's
CV you
in
can find
yeah. You can
in
share
my
it
CV you
later on.
can
Yeah, you
yeah
can share it
and
later on. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and one paper just got accepted, which was there, and GRL I have communicated. Means in GRL, what I tried to do is like, uh, in my thesis, I have talked only up to 60 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to
Mm.
Moho. But the paper which I submitted just now, last week, in GRL, that talks about the health discontinuity in asthenosphere, means in upper mantle, and presence of low velocity zone in upper mantle
Mm.
and
Okay.
from means anastopic means seismic anastopical study. From
Mm.
that, I was able to delineate hills discontinuity, which is around at 81 kilometer in Dharwar Craton,
Mm-hmm.
and a presence of low velocity zone or metasomatic zone below Moho and in upper mantle. Yeah. So
Great, great. So so we did understand. We did try to understand about Dharwar Craton. So maybe I know also know that you had a have a master's in machine learning and AI, right? So can you talk
can you
about a
give me
little
one
bit
moment?
about?
One moment, please. My mic is means like my speaker.
No, we can
Uh,
hear you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I was mentioning that can you give us some examples where while you were doing the study in when you were doing your masters, what are some applications that you find useful of AI ML in geophysics, like
Yeah.
or even if
So,
your PhD studies maybe,
mhm.
which could
In
have
P-
helped you. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
in PhD, during my PhD, like I did this course after submission of my PhD thesis. So in my
Hmm.
PhD, whatever coding or whatever I means like programming I did was on MATLAB, and that too just for like heat flow study or gravity study. But for
Hmm.
seismic inversion and everything, I used a paper of algorithm created by Gelt and Smith, 1992. So I used that ray trace inversion. It's called trace inversion.
Mm-hmm.
So I did means I used that during my for seismic data inversion, and for gravity and heat flow I did that on MATLAB. But the AI ML course which I did from Texas University on virtually, I did after the submission of my thesis, because I did not wanted to get distracted by, means like
Right,
it's
right.
very hard to do two things at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So after doing that course, I realized that whatever things we do as a geophysicist has got applications, like its application can be solved with the help of AI/ML, like from statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Means like
Right.
inversion is nothing but statistical analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be done, and then supervised and unsupervised learning can be used for data analysis, like k nearest neighbor and CNN, KNN, RNN. These all can be used for what do you call in seismic data inversion also. And
Mm-hmm.
then we can also use like computer vision, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
that computer vision and neural network are the two topics which are very means were very interesting to me, and I
Mm-hmm.
like them very much because it has got direct application in
Mm-hmm.
seismic data interpretation, especially
Mm-hmm.
what do you call computer vision. Okay, so in computer vision, for this course in AI/ML, I
Mm-hmm.
did two projects. In fact, three projects. One was
Mm-hmm.
face recognition using computer vision. Another
Mm-hmm.
was like delineations or identifying plants from using computer vision, and
Mm-hmm.
also number plates and everything from computer.
Yeah, right.
But
Mm-hmm.
the topic which was means the project which I really liked was delineation or identification of tube means like TB or
Mm.
opacity in the lungs
Oh, okay.
based on
Mm-hmm.
computer vision. So what I want to say is, like, if I have a post-tax section of a post-tax seismic section, I
Mm-hmm.
can use computer vision algorithms like ResNet or CNN
Mm-hmm.
or exception.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these can be used to delineate any kind of salt structure or salt domes or
Mm-hmm.
reservoir,
Mm-hmm.
any kind of reservoir, any minerals we can easily identify with the help of computer vision.
Great, great. Yeah. So there's then you say there's a lot of applications, right? Of you can find of AI/ML. Yeah. So and definitely this is because even if your data is a little bit corrupted, it might not affect it much because it's a trained model. You can train it with nice, better
Mhm.
data set, right? So yeah, so that's very nice. And let's go to some lighter topic. I know you started working at carbon sequestering lab, and you're very new. But what is your opinion, overall opinion? Like, how do you see it's going to evolve in future? Like, of course, you'll have many papers, but
Yeah. I have
yeah.
gone through many reports and papers. So the thing is, I find carbon sequestration is the future. Like
Okay.
many countries, they feel that it's very hazardous to the environment. Means like
Mm-hmm.
people talk about storing the means carbon in liquid form in subsurface, but they also talk about, means the policymakers talk about, it's very risky to the surroundings. It leaks, it will be a disastrous to environment and everything. But what
Mm-hmm.
I find is, means from it's my opinion that carbon sequestration is the future. Like, you are tackling two problems. Okay, one is of global warming. Sorry, in fact, three problems: global warming, pollution, and utilization of the carbon which has been captured uh, and stored. It can be utilized as like natural gas over a period
Oh,
of.
okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, like, the only thing is that we have to do the risk analysis or risk management before
Mm-hmm.
moving ahead with the project. So basically, right now, what I'm doing is I'm going through many projects to find what they have done and how it was beneficial for that. And the main aim was that to, based on these reports from different countries, make a report and give it to the government of India, along with the risk analysis, that where, means which at which locations we can store the carbon, means in liquid
Mm-hmm.
form from the atmosphere, and how it can be utilized in future as fuel or something. So,
Yeah.
and and the risk assessments also, like if it leaks, what will happen, or
Yeah.
where should we store it so that it can be stored without any leakage, which will
Mm-hmm.
prevent any kind of hazardous incident. So
Mm.
right now we are on that track, and then after the submission of this report, then we'll get a green flag from government of India. Obviously, I cannot say much on this because
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no,
but
of
the
course,
thing
that
is
is
that
confidential.
I feel that carbon sequestration has got lots of potential, and many people in many countries they have done it. Like
Mm.
UK, Germany, USA, they are doing it. Even in India, Shell has started installing many plants to capture carbon from atmosphere. Okay, so we are planning to collaborate with industry also in this. So
Mm-hmm.
it has got lots of potential. Though means people are not confident on this. Means the scientific community around the world, but it's very promising field.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. No, that's very good to know about it, right? So, any final thoughts, Deepak, on maybe geophysics, it's such how it's progressing AI or maybe carbon sequestering,
Means
clean energy, things like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is, if you have to go for carbon sequestration, you have to do seismic data surveys,
Mm.
okay, to find the which places are means good to capture
Mm.
carbon. Okay, and so basically, our right now our main aim is to find means like a coal seam which is good enough and can act as a cap rock. Okay,
Mm.
or
Mm.
to hold the carbon, and it can be utilized in future as coal-bed methane or something like that. So,
Mm.
and talking of geophysics, AI, and carbon sequestration, I mean, it's like, see, the thing is, when I was doing my graduation in physics, so that time, see, I love physics a lot. So I was thinking, what can I do new? Means like, shall I do masters in physics, or is there any branch of physics which I can? So I came across this geophysics, and then I researched on it. I was impressed. Like, I was totally into geophysics then only, and then I took admission in
Mm.
geophysics. So what I mean to say is geophysics, AI, ML, carbon sequestration, they are the future. Means like,
Mm.
see, the thing is many of the softwares in geophysics, frankly speaking, are very costly.
Yeah, of
People
course. Yeah.
cannot means if a student or independent means like in India means I can openly say that in India if you want to do seismic data processing, so in any even in IITs or any research institutes, what happens is you only get 2 or 3 licenses. Okay,
Mm.
and the number of students are more. So how they will do it? So they
Mm.
have to go for a free software which is very cumbersome, like Seismic Unix. It takes
Mm.
lots of time and less data, but the use of algorithm, AI and ML, and Python is
Mm.
free. AI ML algorithms are free. If a
Mm.
student wants to really learn and work on themselves, means I don't think that you can find anything better than Python and
Mm.
AI. Means you can
Right, of course.
any
Uh-huh.
student can build their career on it. Means
Mm.
they can excel in geophysics using AI ML, because see, nowadays, almost 99% of the industries are using AI ML.
Mm.
Even now, the car which we drive, it means
It's
uh,
no, yeah, of course.
we are
Yeah.
having driverless cars and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
if other industries can use AI ML, why not geophysics? Why not
Mm, of
automate
course.
and reduce the cost?
Right, right. No, thanks so much, Deepak, for sharing your insight, and it was a very nice discussion. I hope you join our podcast next when we can know more about your research, and
Sure, sure.
we'll also post your latest papers when you are posting on Earth and
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
yeah,
And thanks so much, Deepak.
yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Vishal. You have a good night, and you have a great day. And it was
Thank
really
you,
nice
Deepak.
talking to you.
Thanks
And
for joining so late at night.
yeah, so if you will